Hey, hi, it's me, Honey Halliwell, and welcome back to my third episode of a kind of show thing, which actually has a name now and a cool, handy dandy intro thing. Check it out. Big, huge ass production values on this show. And I made it myself, and it even had my own music. Yay! Here we are, the third episode, guys. And it is so cool because you've actually made this happen. So that's really awesome. Okay, so what do we talk about today? Today is hair and announcements. And at the very end, I have some makeup clip for you. It's the Liz Taylor makeover. Yay, because apparently some people want to see these things. And it is pretty neat to actually see me go from me to Liz Taylor, and it's really neat to see the end. So I've never seen the full transition from outside of myself before, and it was pretty cool. Also, I am going to be adding all of my links to the bottom. One, because, mentioning it is so tiresome, but mostly because it goes so fast. It's a lot easier to just look at the bottom. So I'm mentioning the second Modern Bombshell gallery. It is up now, and that is the Modern Bombshell Liz Taylor. And man, I think it's really cool. I went through a lot of actually checking ahead of time, looking at her poses online. I have actually watched a few more of her movies to get a better feel of what she looked like. I would look at her pictures before posting them to get a better idea of where my face looked more like her face so that it was a little more true to her. And of course, I had my own twist. So stay tuned also for a great secret revealed in the end. Yes, I am going to reveal a great big secret. And also, I am announcing my official Honey Halliwell fan club. How awesome is that? Well, I mentioned more like that I'd had a fan club in the past, but I didn't have time to run one right now. If anyone would take the reins, I said go for it. I totally did not expect someone to run with it like that day. And sure enough, the lady whose letter I read, Lolly Lovesuckle, wrote me pretty much that day and said, pick me, pick me. And it was so awesome. She's so perfect for the job. She's been with me since the late 90s. And she has really, in some ways, been the wind beneath my wings. She reminds me of why I actually talk to people and don't just do photos. I do photos for the love of it, for the love of creation, because it's in my blood. But the reason why I actually open my mouth and speak words to the public is for people like her. And seriously, just go to the fan club. The links are down below. I am going to make sure that she has things that nobody else has. She has information that nobody else has. She has photos nobody else has. She has autographed pictures that nobody else has. That's a cool place where you can go and just talk about me behind my back. Just share anything you want, share art and comments and whatever. And once in a while, I'll go there and post things that I won't post anywhere else as far as, announcements and things like that. Cool? Cool. I am so stoked. I really am thrilled. I'm honored to have something like this going on. It's huge. This whole thing has just boomed and I couldn't have done it without you guys. So, wow. Cool. You guys did a poll on DeviantArt about what you would like to see more of from this show because it's really important that we have some focus going on here. And I know eventually we'll get past all this. What do we do here? And actually get to doing the show. But what's really important is that we know what it's about. So the poll is still open. If you go to my website, honeymodel.deviantart.com, you can add what you want about it, add comments if it needs to be broadened for you. But a lot of you would like to see more of me preparing for a shoot, giving my thoughts behind it, and my getting ready for it, being on the scene at the time when I'm actually doing the shoot. And that sounds like fun. I do need bigger production values for that. Hopefully today is the last day that I will be using this damn headset because I am getting a decent webcam that actually has a microphone on it so that I won't have to be attached by this umbilical cord because everyone knows how much I hate to be tied down by these things. And that's good. But a real camera that I could take around with me, take you guys shopping, take you through my thought process, maybe, take you on the scene, that would be great. I really like the idea of that. A few people would like to hear more about games and hear about, makeup tips and hair tips and things like that. And that's cool. I would love to do that sort of thing along with and based upon my modeling. And, that's fun. We can have a lot of fun with that. One person posted that they would like to hear how fashion trends affect my modeling. I guess what that comes down to, honestly, is that I pay absolutely no attention to fashion trends whatsoever. The only reason why I look at a fashion magazine is when I'm waiting in line and I'm really bored. I don't know who half those people are on fashion magazines, to be honest. And I only look at them because I'm handy with Photoshop and I like to play a game with myself where I try to see where the pictures were photoshopped, and usually it's pretty easy for me to pick that out. I think the only way that fashion trends really affect me is when clothes that I like have come into fashion and I try to grab them when they come out of fashion so that I can wear them all the time. I think there's a niche in there because I march to the beat of my own drummer, like entirely. I think that it's important for me to show people how they can become more themselves, become more of an individual, not pay attention to what the media says is cool and pay more attention to what they feel inside, to be more honest with themselves. Because once somebody does that, people trust you more. People know that you are being honest on the inside. And even if you look a little freaky, it doesn't really matter because they know that you are telling the truth to the world. And nobody can accuse me of not being completely honest with who I am from looking at me. I am 100% entirely me. When there's so many people in the world who are afraid to use their imagination or they've lost their imagination, and I've never done that. I don't know. I There are some times in my life where I completely change, and it's usually like, I don't know, every 6 months or so, and my whole wardrobe changes and I have to do something completely different. I went through a gypsy belly dancer phase. I went through a mobster punk phase, and these are all me, but I don't recognize that aesthetic possibilities are not possible. When you look at me inside my trends, these are all equally me. These are not trends that I look at outside of me to tell me what's cool. I know what's cool for me, and I think that that shines through. And so I guess that's what I'm saying about fashion trends. I make my own. It's not about wanting people to copy me as much as wanting people to find their own niche and to find their own trend and what makes them feel more whole and alive. So I would love for this show to do that. Making a short story long, that is the answer to my following fashion trends. Most popular question that I get in the real world is about my hair. And it is really interesting because I can't go outside the house without somebody mentioning my hair and talking about how awesome it is and wondering how I do it and all of that. This is something that I get all the time, and I'm about to tell you. I use Manic Panic. It's one of my favorite things. I do a lazy person's hair. It's really, really lazy. I buy like a little packet of bleach, just a little packet, like Sally, and then a 40 volume developer. I spluck them together, really lazy. I don't pay attention to anything as far as instructions. I just took a little powder and I take a little developer. I shake it up. I put it on my roots just on top as far as I can reach, and I just bleach the top and I leave the back totally natural. And I do Manic Panic, Red Passion, and Vampire Red combined. I spluck it all over my whole head and then dye it once. The rest of the time, because I hear a lot of people have a hard time keeping their hair fresh, what I do is I put some Manic Panic, both colors for me. It'll work for any color, guys. You take it and you put it in your bottle of conditioner and you use it in your conditioner every other time you condition and it will stay fresh. No one will ever see you with that icky pastel color hair. I always look like this. So there you go. If you're concerned about getting it in your shower, what works is nail polish remover. If you get manic panic on anything in your bathroom, use nail polish remover and that'll take care of it. Okay? So cool. We've worked out the hair thing. I used to dye my hair like every color under the sun. When I was a teenager, I used to bleach my hair really, really, really blonde, and then I would use food coloring, and that works too. It's just, kind of sloppy. But yeah, I used to take blue food coloring, yellow food coloring, green food coloring, sometimes all at once. And I would change my hair color and my style every day. I mean, I was rapid, cycling, quick change. And my first boyfriend, he really loved it. He said that it was like dating a different girl every day. And my mom, when I was modeling back then, just starting, she said that I was a chameleon, and that's how I started calling myself a chameleon model, which didn't really work because chameleons change to fit their background, whereas I change sometimes within a few hours because I'm modeling and I'm doing different shoots and I want to look completely different. So that's how I became a quick change model. If I weren't modeling, I tell you, I'd probably be changing every day too. It kind of gets it out of my system. I embrace the chaos. Okay, so we have more questions. I have a question from one of my videos, and this is kind of cool actually. Tarkum Crest, who apparently picked that name to try to test me and my linguistics. Tarkum Crest. He wrote on my first video that he loved it. He said, "This is awesome. I used to follow you a lot on Dark Dungeons, and your personality was so great, it got me to look you up and follow you. Keep doing what you're doing and bring back Dark Dungeons." Ah! So I find that very, very awesome that someone's following me from the Dark Dungeons days. Dark Dungeons was, and I kid you not, the very first and only at the time online radio show about gaming and RPGs. Yes, the first ever. And so myself and Dr. Jess, we were co-hosts of the show. We played a lot of Filk and Dementia music too, and we played a lot of silly clips. And then we talked a lot about, well, as you'd figure it, games, board games, card games. We talked about movies that related to gaming. When we talked about, say, kung fu games, we would also bring up movies by like Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee and stuff, and we talk about how they related. And it was really cool. We had a good following. We'd have people walk up to us at cons and, we talk Dark Dungeons. And I have good news for you, man, because Dr. Jess and I have been talking about bringing back Dark Dungeons. So I thought that might make you happy. I'll keep you guys posted. Cool? So Phantom Hourglass sent me a note at DA, and he said that he liked my skull shirt from the first episode and asked if I could do a photo set with that shirt. And he said that he's glad that I'm doing what I'm doing, and he thanked me for sharing what I love. You're welcome, man. He asked if I was a Star Wars fan, and it's great to see me doing stuff in my off time, and thanked me for giving him a chance to see my videos. So, Star Wars. I don't know, man. Am I a Star Wars fan? Let me tell you, I have a whole bookshelf over there with Star Wars RPGs on it. I have a Star Wars calendar over there. I actually, at that computer over there, I play Star Wars The Old Republic. I have probably like 8 characters. It's funny because have you guys seen that commercial for Disney and the guy puts on a mask and he says, "Oh, children, I am your father." I find that absolutely hilarious because that's me. Yeah, I would be the person who would, go into the store and look around and say, I find your lack of cheese disturbing. So this is, that's how much I'm into Star Wars. And I am so totally looking forward to the new series. I love what J.J. Abrams is doing, building the entire Millennium Falcon again, actually having the guy that wrote The Empire Strikes Back writing it. I am stoked, absolutely stoked. So, you think I like Star Wars? Do you, man? So, anyway, I was going to leave it up to you guys. If you think that maybe that skull sweater would go good in a one shot, why don't you guys maybe leave me some notes somewhere and say, hey, I agree with Phantom Hourglass and I would like to see a one shot in that sweater. Let me know. Let him know. Let the world know. Now I'm going to reveal my big secret. You ready? I am Batman. All right, kids, this has been great. I would like to add more to the show, like I said, but right now I have this Carpi webcam, and like I said, this is my last day with it. I am hoping that my new webcam will be here today. Stay tuned. I have my Liz Taylor makeup coming on right after this. Later, kids.